to Knobcat Games Dungeons of the Obelisk podcast. I'm your host, Joe Sleppy, and we're joined today by a full crew after a long hiatus. We have our Animancer, Nyka Deer.
Hello.
Our Art Lord, Ben Segas.
Hello.
And did we officially decide on a title? I'm not sure. I think it's you're the Digital Alchemist. It's TJ Yadacernia.
Yep. Good title for me.
Nice.
You like it?
That I do.
Awesome. So then it's official. You're our Digital Alchemist. A little bit of background for anybody that's just jumping in. This is our sort of podcast journal devlog where we talk about our game, Dungeons of the Obelisk. It's a 2D turn-based dungeon crawling loot grinding adventure, and we've been going for a little over a year now since we started. Also, for the astute podcast listener, you probably noticed that we haven't had an episode since February. So that's the first thing that I kind of want to address before we get into introducing TJ. Last episode we had Nicholas on as our newest programmer, and then 4 days later I hurt my back at the day job and was kind of out of commission for like 3 months or something, and we're just kind of getting back into it. But the reason that we have a new programmer now is because it just didn't work out with Nicholas's schedule. He did a lot of work, helped us out while I was injured, got our project all lined up, and did a lot of stuff to help us out behind the scenes. And then he decided that it wasn't going to be possible to do it full time, so he's still part of the crew, still in our Discord and stuff, but stepping back, and now we have our newest member, which is TJ. So I don't know if you want to tell us a little bit about yourself as an introduction.
Yeah, I can do that. As you had mentioned before, I'm TJ Yadacernia. I previously was going to college for game design, so I had actually recently graduated from that. I had gotten one of my games published on Steam beforehand, and now I ended up being able to join the team, get some more programming work done, being able to work in my preferred program, Unity. Outside of programming, I like to play games. I feel like most game designers do. But besides that, I also like to go outside, like to do things like hiking and camping whenever I can. I'm actually planning a camping trip on August pretty soon.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Going outside is one of my not favorite things. But yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, you've pretty much been with us. It's been about maybe 3 weeks now.
Yep, 3 weeks or so.
Is that? Yeah, give or take. And yeah, it's kind of a big project to just jump into the middle of. You know, we had Nicholas helping you out there at the beginning, but now you're pretty much running wild, as it were. We've made kind of a lot of interesting new improvements just in the past couple days, which I'm pretty excited about. Squashed a lot of bugs. The rats no longer dodge. Which has been an ongoing bug for months and months now.
Yeah, well, the bugs... I mean, at least there wasn't a huge amount of bugs when I started on the project, which I'm actually surprised, because like, as a project goes on and as it gets as big as this, I figured there'd be more bugs and less polish to initially work with. But glad to see that I was able to quickly get going on it, get the polish going almost immediately in comparison to having to fix 100 different bugs that might be lingering in the project.
Yeah, we have a list that you've been working through, and I think you've kind of got everything on the bugs list and pretty much everything on the current polish list too, which is pretty exciting. One of the biggest things, which is probably a small thing to everyone else, but you added the new font in, which is, in my eyes, it's kind of changed the look of the game in a huge way, and it fits a lot more.
Yeah, from from what I do remember on the previous font, since I haven't been looking at that as long as you guys, it was kind of like a simple font compared to the newer font that's been swapped out for. And one thing that can be kind of underestimated about doing that is just how much time it can actually be to swap out fonts. It's like I have to go to every single thing, click on it, swap out the font, make sure it's level, make sure it's sized properly. Surprising amount of work has to go into just swapping out a single font for an entire game that already has so much work put into it.
Yeah, it's probably a good thing we got to it now before we continued then.
Yeah, the good thing about it is that since it was swapped out now instead of later, that means that anytime I add in new font, anything else that's added in now will already take in the new font that was swapped out, so now the work is a lot less than what it would be if it was done 6 months from now.
Yeah, that's one of the things I like to do is get things before they become a bigger issue. So yeah, it's I'm probably gonna have to do a video soon and give everybody a update on some of the newer changes now that we have a few things. Let everybody kind of see the new font and stuff. That of course will be like posted in the Discord if I get a video and stuff out, and you can find it on knobcat.com too. But one of the biggest changes is you actually started getting into like some real, I don't know, I had them listed as next big steps on the document, and you've gotten into like adding, basically doubling the amount of our minor stats. You know, before we had, you know, crit chance and damage and a damage boost and a few block dodge and damage reduction, but you've got in there and done a lot of the stuff like on the mana and stuff, like the mana cost reduction and mana regenerate is kind of made a big change in what you're able to do with the build now.
Yeah, so one of the things about the minor stats that actually I was surprised is the groundwork that was set up by the previous programmer, so making sure that things can be modified easily later on, made adding in these new minor stats a lot easier and a lot faster than I previously expected. So certain things, there was already like a space where it was planned where it could go here, you could add that in, get it in quickly. And one of the things that, like where the data is being pulled from to make sure like all the stats and such can change later on, the addition of that just makes things significantly faster on getting work done. So if there's things that have to be tested quickly, or if they quickly have to be modified because let's say it's too weak, too overpowered, and it's able to just be changed almost immediately.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's really cool. I guess we do owe Kel a lot. He really did set a good groundwork for us before he moved on. So if he's spying on the podcast or whatever, thank you. Yeah, that's kind of it's sort of hard to talk about all these minor stats, I guess, but it's kind of a thing that might be easier to show in a video or something. So once we get all of them done and I get an update video out, that might help people more. But what else did we add in? Thorns, that's a big one. I think everybody kind of likes thorns.
I'm still concerned about thorns. Like, I always liked the idea of bouncing damage back on the enemy, but it's like I'm testing it out, had 100% damage reflection, fighting a slime underleveled, or it's underleveled in comparison to me, bouncing back 1 damage to the guy, so it's not actually killing him. But it is nice to have thorns. It's like the entire concept of being able to bounce damage back up.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing that is tough to balance, because if you're against an enemy that is also tanky or doesn't do a lot of damage, that can't really be your sole source of damage. But I think it's a good secondary stat for a lot of like tank characters and stuff. Just adds like a little bit of damage that they can do, and then it lets bigger enemies kind of wreck themselves on you. I know in Diablo it's always been an issue, like for them balancing like the Thorns build on the Crusader, because it's kind of a passive thing. You know, you're not attacking, you're not doing anything, you're just standing there getting hit. So like, should you be able to destroy everyone by not doing something? So it's a interesting challenge, but I think it's a fun one to have in the game now.
One of the things that I had messed around with, because of the addition of the other minor stats, if you stack up your thorns, your lifesteal, and your health regen, you can just get beat on by stronger enemies, reflect their damage back at them, and then heal because you're bouncing damage on them. And then from there, when it's your turn finally, you heal even more. So kind of build fully into that tank, that kind of reflective damage.
Yeah, I did the same thing. I built a build that was entirely health, and then I think I had close to 100% thorns as well. But I did the same thing where I was against a glub, and it just kept... It was doing a little bit more damage to me, but then I was getting like 1 or 2 damage back to it per turn every time it hit me. And I think I looked at one point, and it had like 1,000 health. And
that'll take a while.
And yeah, it just stood there for a while. I kind of let the game go and to see how it would work, but I don't know if Thorns is going to be a viable build right off the bat. Oh, the one thing I did mention to you too was we're in the first 10 levels of the dungeon, and I doubt that somebody's going to have a full Thorns build, you know, at level 2 in the dungeon where the gloves don't do any damage. I think as the game progresses and more dungeons get added and stuff, you know, everybody will be doing a lot more damage. The glove is kind of a starter outlier where it's not supposed to do very much damage, so that you can let it hit you a bunch of times and not have to worry about it.
One of the things that like I was thinking about, and this kind of goes back to some previous games I played before, like was it Entered the Spire or something, where you climb a tower card game?
Oh, Slay the Spire.
Slay the Spire. So yeah, one of the things I liked is that the enemies were able to use abilities such as Thorns. So like you have this enemy where you attack him, now you're getting punished for attacking him because you're taking damage back. So the fact that these minor stats can also be applied to enemies kind of opens up a lot of different opportunities to make unique enemies, maybe give them unique abilities that has a player thinking about what they need to do to actually beat them.
Yeah, that's a good point. All the minor stats get used on mobs as well, so yeah, it's even if it doesn't become something viable for a player to like fully stack, you know, it's something that does add interest to the game for mobs and things. So that's definitely a good point too. Yeah, I guess TJ, if you don't have anything, do you have anything else you want to like talk specifically about that you've been working on in the past couple weeks?
Let's see. I'm trying to remember some of the stuff that was changed.
That's some of the things about programming. It seems like it's hard to remember what all you've done sometimes. You know, we're gonna have to, you know, eventually when the game launches, tracking the changelog will become a full-time part of the job.
Yeah, it's like there's so many changes that can be done in a day, and some of them are so minor, but like even just changing a single line of code could end up making a big difference in comparison. Like some of the changes I did that can be seen as small but also big is chests now have like a button above them when you approach them, so you can just click that to open it up instead of trying to walk up to it. Or something as simple as like in the UI, because there's been a lot of UI work done recently, is if you're looking at your attacks on the player stats menu, that's now able to show you what's the exact mana cost of that attack. Or while you're in your stats menu, you can also see like your character's pronoun now, which used to originally only exist on the character creator, I believe.
Yeah, you kind of created them and then they just disappeared.
Yeah, so a lot of kind of groundwork that's going on, or things like behind the scenes where it's not huge, but it adds just a little bit to the game that improves it over time when you stack it all together.
Yeah, exactly. That chest button, I like that a lot. You know, it pops up and kind of tells you can open the chest, and I think that will help for like future things. You know, if we have a area that doesn't have chests but it has like a skeleton or something laying there, you know, it lets the player know that they can click on it and open it up. It's like one of those things you don't really think about until it comes up, and then you're like, oh yeah, that is a great idea.
Yeah, adds a bit of interactability to the game. One of the things that is bothering me about the chest, though, is at the moment, depending on screen size, the chest button is able to move itself to different locations than it should. Like, I think the most recent testing build we've been using, because it's a shrunken screen, that button's just way off on the left and not even remotely close to where it should be at the moment.
Yeah, it must have been going off screen, because there was a couple times I couldn't find it to open my chest. And yeah, that's kind of an interesting thing. Like, we decided pretty early on like the screen resolution and stuff, so that's something that we're gonna have to talk about probably off the podcast and decide what we're gonna do with that, if going bigger will make things easier on us or what, because there's probably going to be people that want to play at different resolutions too, because when you made it the full size, it actually didn't fit on my one monitor anymore, so it's a interesting challenge too.
Yeah, at some point add in potentially some settings where you can set the resolution. You can enter full screen or windowed mode if you would like to. There's different options for the player.
Yeah, for sure. I know Ben and Nyka are still here. They haven't gotten a chance to say much.
It's all good.
Yeah, we're getting deeper into the podcast. We try to keep them under a half an hour for everybody that's listening. Don't want to take too much of your day. So let's maybe move on to some of our other topics that we've accomplished in my time while I was incapacitated. Ben and Nyka have kept plugging away at everything, and we have a lot of mobs, and we have all the items in the game are drawn now. They haven't been added in because that's going to be a big job, but it's awesome seeing what a lot of the weapons are going to look like, and the currencies and the things like potions and stuff.
Yep. It's fun drawing everything. Like, I'm trying to keep everything very unique and very identifiable, so like it's definitely a little tricky, but it's fun. I'm enjoying it. So it was a huge task getting all those items for sure. Like because what was there, like 30 something items, 36 or something like that.
That's what I was gonna say. I think there was definitely over 30 for all of the we've been calling them non-equipment loot, but they're the things like consumables and your buffs and crafting materials and things like that.
Right. And then on top of all the loot, the gear as well, like the equipable stuff. It's been quite a bit of stuff.
Yeah, one of the things that I kind of love is so the trash stuff, the uncommon, the rare stuff has all been kind of like a cohesive group of items that kind of fit together. If your character equips all of the rare items, it kind of gives them a look. But I kind of intentionally made the legendary items not really be part of like a cohesive look, and whenever you kind of have the character with all of them on, it's such like a funny look, because he has like sandals and then there's like wild pants with the eyes and then like a cape on. It's pretty great,
like a mishmash superhero.
Yeah, that's one of the things you're supposed to be able to mix and match, when we get into being able to use cosmetics and stuff. So I wanted to have the legendaries be like a bunch of different options, and then some of the other things be more of a cohesive set, because there's players that like to just wear all the trash items and look like the most basic character, even though they're super powerful, and then there's people that love to have a set, and then there's people that love to just look goofy. So we're trying to I think we've got all the bases covered so far.
Yeah, definitely. The goofy look definitely appeals to me the most.
Oh yeah, Nyka and I tried to do a video.
Oh, that's right.
A month or two ago, we actually recorded like a gameplay video where we were talking about a bunch of stuff, and I actually messed up with my recording of her voice, so like it was just me talking to myself on the video, and then Nyka was really quiet. So I ended up not being able to post it. But one of the things that we talked about then that I didn't want to forget to talk about now is you actually animated a bunch of the items as like a test to see, you know, how it was our first time animating any of the items, so we wanted to see how they would work. We did post those on Discord for everybody to check out, but they turned out really good.
Thanks again. Yeah, that was really fun learning like the particle systems and kind of getting into some non-character animation. Yeah, that was wild. I think we tried like recording that like twice or something.
Oh yeah, I remember. That's what happened.
Yeah, just
we
like,
recorded half of
wrong.
it, and then my air conditioning had quit. So we were recording.
Oh, that's right.
You know, we'd been chatting for a little bit before we started and stuff. So we were like an hour and a half in, and my wife like came in the room and she's like, "It's really hot in here. I think our air conditioner's broke." And then I realized that it was like 88 degrees or something inside, and my studio actually gets like hotter than the rest of the house too, so it was really bad in here. So then we pushed it off for a week until we got the air conditioning fixed, and then recorded the rest of it, and then I went to like edit it and put it together, and it wasn't even recorded right.
Ow. I just remember you being like, like, "I gotta go, emergency," and I was like, "Oh god, what?"
Just a series of unfortunate events.
For sure.
Yeah, it's been a ride since March. Me not being able to do anything for a while. I couldn't even like sit up at my computer for a while, so that made it really difficult to do anything. Yeah, now we're back. I can edit a podcast again. Oh, one of the other things about your animations, real quick on the items, it's so awesome how you kind of set it up where things were directional. So like the blood on the wolf sword always drips down.
Yeah.
And the smoke on the daggers always goes up. So I'm really excited to see how those will look once they're like equipped to the character and the character's swinging them around.
Yeah, I'm hoping like it all looks good in game, because I was so happy when I found the gravity effector. I was like, we're gonna have a lot of fun with this. But like, yeah, just seeing like it all together is like its own thing. I'm glad most of the animations I've done so far seem to hold up once they're in game.
Yeah, they look really good. They look really good when they're going so fast too.
Yeah.
It's kind of a weird thing, like once you get your speed up, and the character's just kind of running around, you still have all those like animations happening, and the rat dying is fantastic.
I noticed
also
the rats are resized.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna mention that. So they're not resized yet in the dungeon overworld. So when you encounter the rat in the dungeon, it's still like the oversized size.
Gotcha.
And the first time I played it, I was like, oh, that's weird. The rat's still big. And then it goes into the battlefield and the rat come in from the side, and it was so small. It was like I was laughing so hard. I couldn't believe how tiny it was. It was just like the most ridiculous thing. And then I bumped the size of it up just a little bit, and now it looks perfect. But it was so funny how small it was.
That feels like the opposite of most RPGs, where it's like normal size character, and then you fight them and the enemy is like half the screen size.
Yeah, well, we'll get there eventually, but I don't think the dungeon rats
for sure
to be huge.
I don't know, I kind of like them. They're the size of a car.
Yeah, they're imposing. Especially when they like stand on their back 2 feet. It's like, oh god, that's bigger than me.
Like a bear.
Yeah. Yeah, seriously.
Rat bear. Let's write that one down for a future mob.
Rap.
I'm into
I'd
that.
like to see that one.
Speaking of the mobs too, almost all of the mobs are drawn. I think Ben has 2 more to go for like all of the planned mobs.
Yep.
Nice.
I'm actually currently working on one of them right now.
We're trying to not talk about the bosses and stuff, trying to leave a little bit of mystery to the game, but I do like sharing a lot of stuff. So I think in the past couple weeks you've knocked out, I'm trying to think of what the first one was. Oh, the turtle.
Yeah.
The Snappington is his name, and that one turned out really good. It's kind of a tank mob based on a snapping turtle. Looks really good. And then we did the Snek.
I was actually thinking about adding some because we have the Snek juice as an item. I was thinking of adding like a little spray effect just in case like we want to use that.
I was worried you were gonna say like nipples, like we were gonna
No.
milk the snake.
I don't know if that's the finest idea.
It's a different kind of game now.
I mean,
Yeah.
if Star Wars can do it,
And especially because it has all those parts of it, so each part would have like so many nipples. Oh no.
If someone listening draws that, oh my god.
yeah, that's the Rule 34 fan art that can come later.
That makes me concerned.
But no, I think I was gonna go with what you're saying. I imagine they do milk snakes in real life, like as they put their teeth into the bottle and and drain the venom out of their teeth, and that's what I was going for. It's a Snek venom.
Yeah.
But it's funny to call it juice. Maybe on that thought, we've been going for our half-hour limit. It'll be a little shorter when I edit down, but I think we'll start wrapping up. If you've been listening, you made it this far to the end, we really appreciate it. If you've somehow made it to this podcast but are not part of our Discord server, go to knobcat.com and find that link, join our Discord, talk to us, ask us questions, check out the previews and things that we've been posting in the updates channel on there. I don't want to mention the Twitter because I have not kept up on the Twitter at all. But Nyka, have you been keeping up on the Instagram?
Ah, jeez. I need to get back into that actually.
Yeah, it's been a rough little while. We've kind of had our hiatus and stuff, but I think we're gonna come back. We're gonna try to hit this podcast every 2 weeks again. I'm gonna try to get things on the Instagram and Twitter again, and you know, now that we've got TJ, things are really rolling again too. We have a lot more updating to talk about, you know, things actually happening in the game, so that's pretty exciting. I already mentioned the Discord, mentioned the website, the Instagram, the Twitter. So I think that's pretty much it for now. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Bye.
Bye.